Hey guys, welcome back to another 0 to 60. Check out the new shirts. We have got a website coming, and although I think these designs are available on Teespring, hopefully the new website is going to have much better options for merch, especially for you guys in Australia. That is coming, but today's episode isn't about an M54, unfortunately. It's about an S85 beast. So yeah, I did touch on it in yesterday's video, but we have a oil leak coming out of the oil cooler. And hopefully it's just an O-ring, but to get to it, we do have to take the front bumper off. I'm not going to talk a lot today, we're just going to get straight onto it. So to get the front bar off, we've got all of the bolts inside the fender liner. Bolts, 10mm. Yeah, they're 8mm bolts. There's not a lot actually underneath left because we've already taken the under trays off to do the alternator. Yeah, all right, I'm going to get the fender liners undone, and then I'll give you a look at the top from what we've got to take off from there, but hopefully this won't be too bad. So I nearly forgotten, there are also two Torx bits that go just there on these M5 bumpers, but with the two 8mm and then one 10mm bolt on each side removed, we've now got a loose front bumper. It is obviously still clipped in here and on the top, so we'll get the 540 out of the way and get it dropped down. Okay, so we really need some more room in here. Considering the amount of filming we do, we need a bigger shed. Right, now from the top, I think, I've never actually had this bumper off, but I think it's just this top trim piece, which should unclip. I've had this off before because we've had the headlights off quite a few times. So we've got these Torx bits in the top here, which are bigger than T25. They look like T27s. And they are. Oh, pretty good. So got these top bits off, and then I think it's just the clips on the side, and she'll actually pull off. All right, so I think there are some more bolts because I just went to wriggle it off. Yeah, well, I thought the bumper would unclip at this point, but what I'm going to do is unbolt the clip, unbolt the piece that the bumper actually clips into. So there's another two 8mm bolts which you can get to through the fender liner, and that actually removes the bumper bracket. I hope you can see me all right. So I'll get those two undone. Okay, so the bracket's now loose, so I think if I pull it back and out, I should get a... Oh, shit. You can tell I've done the other side. Okay, so now we're grabbing again. What are we grabbing on? That. All right, I'll just undo the PDC harness, which is friggin' gigantic. Come on. Although we've never taken this front bar off, I can see it's been painted before. Jesus Christ. But this has all been together for well over 10 years. Jesus. Even the clips on the bumper, they just don't want to come apart. Hey, there we go. It's the most expensive front bumper I've ever removed. Not too bad. Okay. I will just show you the clips that I just undid then. So I did do some reading online. I was expecting the bumper to clip out of this. You can see it clips in there, but everything is just really stiff. So I've just undone that bracket and then pulled that bracket out. And that's how it's come off. Nice. All right, we'll get this out of the way. And we'll have a closer look at the actual problem, which is the oil cooler. Although looking at that, that needs some love as well. Everything needs love. Jesus Christ. Right. So the oil cooler, I'm hoping that it's an O-ring in there. I'm hoping. But let's get it all cleaned off and we'll have a better look. Okay, so I thought I'd better just quickly explain. There is a couple of common issues with these. Hopefully it's the O-ring, which I think goes, it must go between this piece and this piece, that lets the oil weep down. However, having a closer look, the other common problem with these, which if it is that, and I won't be able to fix it, is they do crack up under here. So I'm going to basically try and degrease everything. It's probably going to be the crack, isn't it? It's probably going to be cracked. But we'll clean it all off and I'll disconnect it today. See if we can find the crack or the O-ring. If it's the crack, this will be out for rolls because I won't be able to get this fixed in time. But if it's O-rings, I can just replace it. Let's everybody hope it's O-rings, although it's looking like it's going to be... There's so much more under there. I reckon it's cracked. All right, let's clean her off. Clean her off. Clean the whole core, because the whole core is actually covered in oil. We've got a catch bay. Catch tray. Got some real degreaser. Alright guys, so that is now all cleaned. Well, it's just been degreased, and I ended up getting the hose in here because there was a lot of shit in that oil cooler, pardon my French, and you can still see there's bits in there. If we work out what this leak is, I'm getting nervous about taking this car to the track because pretty much, I mean, I don't want to touch it, but there was handfuls of crap in behind here, just like bits of tree and grass and... I don't know, it was just horrible, and it was all oil soaked. That's really not good, and depending on how much of that has worked its way into the AC condenser, then into the radiator, obviously we're going to have some thermal issues, and it's hot here, and we don't want to be thrashing this car if it's not cooling properly. Now again, I have mentioned it recently, but we haven't really driven this car hard in years. It's just been plodded around with the old quick squirt, but yeah, this kind of worries me how chock-a-block all of these radiators are, and if there's no air going through them, they're not going to work properly. Anyway, I think it's time to I'm going to undo the oil cooler and see if we can see what the O-rings look like. I can't see any cracks underneath. Now it looks like they crack just where the fitting joins on. Hopefully you can see it in there. Everything looks okay to eye. I managed to get a lot of the paint to come off just by blasting it with a hose. But yeah, most of the oil was underneath, so I still think it's probably a crack. It might be on the back side of it. Let's have a look anyway. Let's get her off. Okay, so it's just a 13mm nut that joins the oil cooler lines onto the actual cooler. And from what I understand, there is just a couple of O-rings that goes in between there. Now there are genuine part numbers to replace these O-rings, as I was reading on M5 board last night, but I'm just going to try and use some bigger ones. At the end of the day, the O-ring is just there to stop oil leaking. As long as we can get a bigger one in there, we should be good to go. That's the plan anyway. Now I know I'm going to lose a load of oil. I've tried to dry the area off as much as I can so I don't get any water in the oil, but before this car does any work, it is definitely going to have... It is oh man, trying to do this one-handed is so much fun. Yeah, before it does any serious work, it's going to have... Where's the O-rings? It's going to have an oil change anyway. Well, that's interesting. You can see an O-ring on that back one there, but this one, the O-ring must have fallen off. Yummy. There it is. There's the O-ring. Well, the fact the O-ring didn't even stay on the hose is probably a good sign. Maybe that is the leak. Interesting. Interesting. All right, better go grab my O-ring collection and see if we've got something that's going to do the job. That was a terrible camera angle. I apologise. I wonder if we can join them and then wedge them. Yeah, stay up. Stay up. All right, let me get some O-rings. So this is all a bit difficult to do one-handed, but you can see there, hopefully the camera shows it, but that O-ring is not the correct shape. It is completely misshaped, especially on that section there. Yeah, there's a good chance this is the oil leak, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see any cracks on the oil cooler, so hopefully it is just O-rings. So I've got V10 O-rings there, and let me see what the closest one is that we can wedge on. Please don't drip oil everywhere. Thank you. That one there is probably the closest, which is this one. That's going to be too big, so I'm going to try and stretch. Ooh. Yeah, look at that one. Sorry. God, I'm slacking on the camera angles today. So we've got that one there. A12, which is this one. Bigger O-ring, as long as it fits down in place. I'm going to put that there because it wasn't balancing very well. But we'll try it on this one again. Challenge accepted by doing it one-handed. And I'll put one on the other one as well, and we'll see if it locks down into the holder. All right, now let's replace the other one. Again, really badly misshapen O-ring. Oh, I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good. Not feeling good if the new O-rings are actually going to fit in, but we'll find out shortly. As long as they squeeze down, we should be okay. And another key part is to do this without dropping all the oil. Okay, they seem to have gone down in place. There's the, where do I put that? There it is. Thought I'd lost the nut. So it's tight, but I reckon that's going to be a good thing. I do. So you can see there the fittings are about 1 millimeter higher than they should be from being flush, and they pulled down perfectly. Those bigger O-rings are going to be sweet. Cool. Now I haven't done that up with a lot of pressure because it shouldn't take a lot of pressure the way those O-rings are designed. We should be good. All right. Let's give it another clean off because there's now oil everywhere. All right, it's been one of those times where literally 2 hours have passed since you last saw what was going on. Now, let me see if I can get you a really good camera angle. So hopefully it brings it up here, but what I ended up doing, I've actually changed those two O-rings that you saw. I went down one size just to try and make sure that this sits flat. Now, when I had the larger O-rings in there, this top piece was on a little bit of an angle, and I didn't want to crank this down unrealistic amounts. It should just be enough to squish the O-rings a little bit. So I'm pretty sure we've got that relatively flat now with a slightly smaller O-ring but still bigger than what they did come with. I think she's going to be fine. The only thing I'm not sure on is whether it was O-rings or if it was a crack underneath. I ended up scraping away some paint with a scraper, just where I've seen that they do crack online. So hopefully as soon as we start it up, we will be able to tell what the go is. I really hope they're not cracked under there. But yeah, that's going to end this off. In fact, what I might do... No, I'm going to end it off now. Hopefully we're going to have that regulator tomorrow and we can put the regulator in and start it up. I would start it up now, but just with all the loose wiring on the back of the alternator, I don't want to connect the battery just while it's like that. And yeah, we'll just wait till we've got the reg. Reg should be 10 minutes to pop in and we can start it up and test it. I'm going to leave the front bar off until I've started it up. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. If that reg doesn't come tomorrow, this car's coming off the lift and Dave's M5 is coming on because we've got to start getting that ready for rolls. Yeah, I do not know if this is going to make it to rolls until that regulator turns up and we know it's fixed. And we need to start getting Dave's ready because he wants to run E30, maybe an E40, maybe even an E50 ethanol mix for this go at rolls. He's actually ordered a meth kit, but that hasn't turned up. There's actually quite a few updates coming. There's heaps of parts ordered for my 535 as well. We've got a lot happening, even though it probably doesn't look like it at the moment. But yeah, anyway. E60 M5 oil cooler fix, definitely worth looking into those O-rings. The one thing I really wasn't expecting was the amount of crap and dirt that was built up over the years. I know you can see this oil cooler relatively well through the bumper, but you can't see up here. And this was really dirty. In fact, you might even be able to see just at the top there, there's still bits of bugs and trees up the top. I'm going to basically let it all dry out, vacuum it out as much as I can, air blow it all out, and give all of the radiators a good clean, because I do not like how coated they were with crap. All right, guys, another quick video. Yeah, we'll get there. There's so many parts being ordered. Like, it's insane how much stuff is on the way or coming for some cool things to go. And there will be some more 335 stuff soon. There will. All right, thank you again. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. In fact, let me know if you want an update on the full plans with the 335, because it's probably going to be a week or two before you even know what's been ordered. And I have ordered a lot of stuff. Let me know. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.